Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, represented here by the Managing Director of NDDC, Honorable Dan Abia, the Excellency, the Executive Governor of Delta State, my elder brother and dear friend, Senator Okowa, the Mission Director of USAID, Mike Harvey, the Excellency of Cross River State, represented by Honorable Okoyo. It's my honor to welcome you to today's event. It is indeed a rare privilege to welcome such a high caliber of personalities to an event such as this. Like my colleague said earlier on, this is the fourth edition that we're having, and the theme for this year is collaborative efforts for stimulating investment and inclusive economic growth in the Niger Delta region. And to address this particular theme, we have the pleasure of bringing together a diverse group of stakeholders to discuss these issues today and tomorrow, with expectations that we shall have very robust conversations in the next 2 days. I would like to especially recognize those organizations who have contributed in making this event happen today. Our partners under the Development Market Alliance for Niger Delta, which we fondly call the Demand Alliance. We have organizations such as USAID, DFID, and such projects as MADE projects funded by DFID, SACE projects, and the LEAD project. The Demand Alliance was basically formed by like-minded development donor organizations and partners who are interested in coordinating development efforts in the Niger Delta region. The idea is so we can collaborate towards ensuring that we have sustainable development outcomes. Today's event will not have been this successful or at this level without the cooperation and collaboration of our development partners. I mean, this is just an example of what partnership and collaboration can bring about. I must also like to recognize the contributions of the BRACE Commission in putting these events together. This year, we've had 3 forums. This is the third one we're going to have. The first one was held in July in London, and the second one was held in October in Washington, D.C. Part of at the London event, we had high-level government officials from Her Majesty's government and members of parliament, as well as key players in the development sector, particularly also in the investment sector. And one of the key things that came out of that event was the need and recognition of the role that economic investment or infrastructure investment will have in moving the Niger Delta region forward. It was unanimous among key players at that forum. And for us, that also shaped the conversations we had in Washington, D.C., where we also had a collection of agencies such as the World Bank, IFC, to talk about issues around funding options for governments, particularly when it comes to economic infrastructure. And we hope that as we progress in the next couple of days, those are the things that will form our conversations as we move forward. For us at NDP and PIND, we're beginning to see that these series of forums help to create that enabling environment for dialogue to happen, conversations to happen. And the essence is to see how we can use these platforms to push for policy reforms, push for strategic directions in terms of what are the options that government or private sector can play in driving investment into the region. We recognize that the region has come out of a series of years of conflict, and we're moving gradually away from that phase. And the fact remains that there is a great opportunity in the area of private sector investment. There is a lot of money locked up in the private sector, and the question becomes, how do we unleash that resource into the Niger Delta region? What are the roles that we can play either as stakeholders, as government, as private sector investors, as civil society, or as community? What can we do to make this place conducive for private sector investment. My hope is that that's the conversation we're going to have in the next 2 days, and hopefully we should be able to come out with definite, actionable plan that we'll continue to work with moving forward. Part of the approach we have adopted as an organization is this is just one of the series of activities that we have. This is followed by things like roundtable conferences or roundtable meetings that require smaller groups, in which case some specific action items, some specific issues that are identified here can be pushed forward at those levels of the conversations. And it can also lead to the issue of one-on-one meetings. And one of the things that we're going to do right after this, this forum is to pick up the action items and the recommendations identified from the 2 days conversation and bring that to the attention of the governors at the next governors forum, which we hope to happen in the next few months. My expectation is let's work together. There is an opportunity to work in the region. What are the opportunities for regional collaboration? We've talked about states engaging in particular activities. What are the opportunities that we can harness in terms of looking at the region from the point of view of economic infrastructure, looking at things like ports, connectivity by roads, and all of that? What are the things that the states can do on their own, and then what can they put together and work as states within the region to move the region forward? And what are the things that government can do in terms of creating an enabling environment? I mean, these are just teasers of some of the questions we're going to be discussing and answering in the next couple of days. And I believe that we're going to have very robust and very fruitful 2 days with us here. At this point, I'd like to call on Ese to take us through some details in terms of the discussion format and agenda and introduce some of our special guests. Thank you once again for coming. I wish you all fruitful deliberations.